Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show. I'm sure glad that you guys are here with me today. My name is Jim Landers, and my mission is simple. I help photographers, portrait photographers just like you, make an incredible income doing what they love. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, helping you get exactly what you deserve. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. From Digital Pro Lab, I want you to go to digitalprolab.com. You guys know them because they are the guys that make you look like a hero. And let me put them on the screen over here. Um, Amanda and her team are pros. They do this day in, day out. They are wonderful at what they do, and they love doing this for you and making you look like a hero. Go to digitalprolab.com to get more information so that you can work with some of the best in the industry. Digitalprolab.com. By the way, it's later in the show. I'm going to be sharing something that they're going to be doing this coming Thursday that I think you'll want to participate in if you're in the San Antonio area. And of course, Landers Photography School, that's what I do. And I want to encourage you to to take advantage of the different classes that I have, both photography and on the business side. Although the majority of what I do now is mostly on the business side, to help you really grow and make things happen in the photography world. Too many people I see, I see this all the time when I go to Facebook posts. They're complaining about not being able to make enough money. That it's harder now. And some people are closing. I hear all these things, and I'm looking at the people who are on it. They are not the people who are watching the Portrait Profit Show. If they would take the business side seriously, they would not be saying, "Woe is me," because there are too many ways to make photography a photography business work. And one of those is just simply watching the show. So thank you guys who are here watching, but do me a favor and share what it is that you're doing here. Share that you're watching this. There's a share button right there on if you're watching this on Facebook, hit that share button. Hit the comment. Let me know you're here. I want you to enter in hashtag live to let me know that you're here and watching right now. Hashtag live. By the way, if you're watching this as a replay, do me a favor and enter in hashtag replay. Hashtag replay. Notice that you can see my light up there at the top. So there we go. That helps a little bit. Man, today's a fantastic day. And what I'm sharing with you today is really exciting because it's something that has really propelled what I've done to be able to have a consistent income, to be able to not feel like I'm part of the crowd. And that's one of the things that people complain about is they feel like the market is saturated, that there's too many. Well, if you're doing your marketing right, you won't be saying things like that. That is an ideal sign that you have room for improvement on the marketing side. There is not too much, there's not a saturation. None of that exists unless you're doing it wrong. And then it absolutely does. It absolutely does exist if you're not doing it right. Isn't it funny how it works that way? I'm going to go over several different things. Now, I'm going to lead up to the most important part near the end because there's a lot of foundational stuff that has to be in place before the things that the biggest thing I'm going to share with you today actually becomes a good, viable tool. There's some things that really need to be in place. And so I'm going to be sharing those with you today. And there we go. I'm going to bring that up on my screen before I go any further. I need to keep my notes handy. There we go. Almost there. So today we're going to redefine the rules for marketing your photography business. I'm not saying that we're going to tweak what you're used to. No, 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 no. We're not tweaking. We're overhauling your approach to ensure you're not just another face in the crowd of photographers. I don't want that for you. You don't want that for you. You want to stand out to the people who matter, and those are the people you want to work with. But if you haven't defined who you want to work with, how are you going to stand out to them? Well, you're not. You're getting information today that's going to turn the tables on conventional marketing wisdom and flip how you're going to approach your photography business. I mean, aren't you tired of the struggle, the relentless struggle, competing for attention and undercutting your prices just to compete? Guys, undercutting your prices doesn't work. Some of you have already realized that, and it's not fun to experience it. I've seen so many photographers have a price that's like $100 and they realize they're not getting any sales, so they lower it to $50. Mm, guys, the amount you're charging is a part of the problem, but is indicative of larger problems. You can't make an income with even many sessions being under $100. It's not possible. Now, if you did a huge number of them, one right after the other, okay, now it becomes possible. However, you're going to have to be a master marketer to get those kind of numbers coming in. And you're going to have to plan it in such a way where you are really giving them very little time and attention. You just won't have time for it. You're going to have to cut out everything in order to make that number work. So for most of us, that's just not an option. The number we're going to charge is way, way more before we start becoming profitable. And you may think, well, I can't get people to do that because if I'm charging that kind of money, no one's going to hire me. I can't even get people to hire me at my low rates that I know are low. Hmm, guys, it's your marketing. You haven't defined who it is that you want. It's kind of like when you buy a new car. All of a sudden, there's more of them on the road. It's because your brain defined what that is. There's not an additional number of them on the road. You know that. Let's apply that to your marketing. Who are you marketing to? When you know who you're marketing to, all of a sudden, there's more of them. And they notice you. Mm, what a good combination. I want you to shift your business from surviving to thriving today, not at some point in the future. No, this needs to happen now. And you know I can help you. It's what I do full time. So if you're struggling and you're just watching and you know you need help, come on, reach out to me. You're not going to be struggling anymore. By the end of this presentation today, you will walk away with strategies and action steps that are immediately applicable. They're tailored to elevate your business. Strategies that will position you as the sole choice for your clients, not part of a crowd that they're choosing from. Find out why you've never heard of some of the most successful photographers. Do you know that? No, probably not. Because how could you have heard of them? They're doing their marketing so well that other photographers don't even know they exist. Yeah, you're going to be in that category today. No more competing on price, no more getting lost in the shuffle. It's time to redefine what it means to be a successful photographer from your point of view, by your definition, and be successful, more successful than you've ever even dreamed. Hey, are you feeling this? Are you hearing me? Give me a yes in the comments. Click that. I mean, go over to the comments, type in yes, or type in that sounds good, or I can't wait. Type in something I want to hear from you. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live in the comments for me right now. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching this as a replay, hashtag replay. All right. So the the first thing that we're going to be going over is redefining your marketing approach. What exactly is it that you're striving to achieve? Tell me. Now, I know this is a video, but it's a live video. You can talk to the video. I know some of you are watching and some of you are listening to this as you're driving somewhere. I understand. Just talk to the device you're consuming this information from. What is it exactly that you're striving to achieve? And a lot of you can't answer that question. I know, because I talked to you one on one. Is it dominating a particular niche? Is it becoming the go to for some certain photography type? About creating an exclusive experience that's unmatched in your area. Okay. You might think that it's one or more of those or something altogether different, but those are just a piece of what it is you may be striving to achieve. It's not the whole thing, and certainly not what's going to propel you to become a photographer with no competitors, where the market does not feel saturated. None of those do that, not on their own. You may feel like your passion, the driving force behind your art is the biggest differentiator. And that is certainly one of the contributing elements. But this isn't just about what you love to do. All photographers say they have a passion for the art, don't they? So it can't be a major differentiator. Now, in some ways it is, but it's part of a grouping of things. You're going to gain a clearer vision of how your goals and passions are not just ideals, but but powerful tools for carving out a distinct space in a competitive photography market. These elements are the foundation upon which we're going to uh, build the rest of these marketing strategies. We have to expand the unique perspective and value that you bring to your clients. How does your personal story, your artistic vision, your approach to photography set you apart? We'll talk about how your passion not only inspires your work, but also attracts clients who resonate with what it is that you are doing, what you stand for, what you appear to be. So, we're going to discuss how to pinpoint these goals and align your business strategy to reach them. Now, now that we've set the stage for a new approach to marketing for your business, let's move straight into the three major components where your path to standing out begins. The first is going to be understanding your unique value. I want you to deeply understand what you bring to the table that no one else does. The more, well, this is more than your skill with a camera. It's obviously an important variable, but it's more than your skill with the camera. It's your personal style, your way of seeing the world, the unique experiences you create for your clients. It's about your philosophies, your policies, the way you interact with clients, knowing the ideal client for you as a person, as a photographer, the steps you take during each step of the process, and a whole lot more. We'll explore how to identify and articulate these values, crafting a brand message that highlights these unique aspects. Now, I said it's made up of these three major components. Here's the second: tailoring your message. With your unique value in hand, it's time to tailor your message to your ideal clients, those who are going to be best for you, not just anyone. This isn't about broadcasting a generic appeal to a broad audience. It's about speaking directly and intimately to those who are looking for exactly what it is that you offer. We'll work on fine tuning your message so that it resonates with your ideal clients, making them feel as if you're speaking directly to them. So that they're saying things like, I felt like you were talking to me. Number three of three, choosing the right channels. Once your message is honed, where do you share it? The key is selecting marketing channels that your ideal clients use. We're not just throwing a wide net, we're fishing in spots where you will cross paths with your ideal clients. whether that's Instagram, local art fairs, a targeted email campaign, companies that target the same people as you, but aren't competitors. We'll identify the best channels to reach your specific ideal audience. Now, a couple of action steps, three action steps that I want you to write down and do. The first, identify your unique value. Reflect on what sets your photography apart, you as a person apart. Is it your artistic approach, your interaction style, the people you work with, or maybe your unique sessions? Whatever it is, write down, identify your unique values. And second, craft your tailored message so that people understand what it is that your unique value is all about, what it is you bring. Using your unique value, craft a message that speaks to your ideal client, not just anyone, speaks to your ideal client. Why should they choose you? Why are they going to be like a magnet attracted to you? What can they expect from working with you that they're not going to get going anywhere else? And the third, select your channels. Based on your ideal client profile, select two or three marketing channels. We're not trying to get everything. You may make a long list, but you're only working with the best, the most ideal marketing channels where you can best reach your ideal client. Plan how you'll use these channels to communicate your tailored message. Now, make sure you're hitting that like button when you hear something you like. Letting me know that you're here, that you're watching, that I'm not just talking to myself or all the stuff that's here in my environment. Let me know you're here. When you hear something you like, click that like button. When you're on a cell phone, you can click that multiple times. I know on if you're watching on a desktop or a laptop, it only lets you click it once. But I want to see those likes. I want to see those loves, and I want to see you comment. So if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live. And as we go through this process, this session today, comment. Tell me about things that you have done. Tell me about the ideas that I bring that you're going to start implementing. Let me know in the comments. In fact, let me look over at the comments real quick. I can see a bunch of you are here. Thank you for being here today. Let's see. I see Kathy. I see Stacia and Lupe. Hey, Rick. And let's see. Porrick. Glad you're here. Robin's here. Crystal and Will are here. Dave's here. And a whole bunch of Facebook users and YouTube users. Ah, man, so glad you guys are here. Love seeing all those faces and the anonymous ones. So that all good. All right. So moving on to the next section of understanding the market. As we turn our focus to the market itself, we take on a critical exploration of its dynamics and its nuances. The photography market is not just a backdrop for your business, it's a living, evolving entity that demands understanding and strategic navigation. It's not just about knowing who needs photography services, but about understanding who wants what you uniquely offer. This understanding positions you in a way that makes you the obvious choice for your ideal clients. Who are the clients that make up your target market? And what are their needs? What are their expectations? How are technical advancements and social media influence the way photographers are hired and the services they offer? This exploration is key to understanding how to position yourself in a market where a large majority, probably over 95%, are not actively seeking photography services. Yep, think about it. Most people are not currently seeking photography services. That means at least, I'm thinking, 95% at least are not looking for a photographer right now. It could be 98, it could be 99% who aren't looking. So that means When you are on a Facebook forum and someone says, I'm looking for a photographer, you're only getting about 1% or 2% that are even actually doing those kinds of things. And we've got 40, 50, 80 photographers who are trying to get that one client. What are the odds that when someone posts, I'm looking for a high school senior portrait photographer, and 80 photographers throw their name in the hat? What's the likelihood at you at number 46 are going to get any attention whatsoever? And yet you throw your name in the hat anyway. Now, I'm not telling you don't throw your name in the hat. I'm telling you that if your marketing was done ideally, the way you want it to work, you're not going to have time for that kind of thing. So let that serve as the red flag that you have room to improve your marketing efforts, the business side of photography, the place where too many photographers are not spending enough of their attention. Just a thought. Most people are not currently looking for a photographer. But what that does is give us a huge opportunity to be putting yourself where you're going to cross paths with the 95%. And in the 95%, there is no competition. I can prove it. First of all, have you considered not going after those who are looking for photographers? Has that even crossed your mind before? The majority aren't looking. So that's where I put my attention, to those who aren't looking. Because those who are looking are going to look at, if there's 40, 50, 80 photographers they've posted and that many people have responded, they're going to look at 5 or 10. But if you're going after the 95%, they don't look at any except for you. When you put yourself in a place where they are crossing paths with you, and it's easier said than done. Yes, it takes some work. What doesn't? So yeah, of course. Easy? No. It'll feel easy after a while though. And you'll wonder why you ever did it any differently, because you'll realize that doesn't work and what you're doing now works miraculously. Let's talk about identifying your ideal client. Now, on the Profit Show, we talk about identifying your ideal client often because it's that important. And because most photographers don't really ever get to a very specific definition of what that means for them, but they need to. It is going to make a massive difference in how you do everything about your business and your income. Knowing your market means knowing your ideal client, understanding their lifestyle, their values, and and the unique reasons why they may even seek any photography services or want that kind of thing. This depth of knowledge enables you to create offerings and messages that resonate more profoundly with the people you are most equipped to serve. I want you to build a dedicated persona. Now, some people call this an ideal client profile or a client avatar. It doesn't matter what you call it. The main thing is I want you to be very specific, very purposeful. Go a little crazy with this specific description of your ideal client. This is a semi-fictional character that you're bringing out of your head, and it embodies the characteristics of your ideal client. What are their hobbies? What magazines do they read? What social media platforms do they spend the most time with? Where do they shop? Who are they friends? Who are their friends? What do they do for entertainment? What do they do for travel? Anything that deep dives this into this fictional ideal client is what I'm talking about. Be specific in this one person. You're defining one person, your ideal client. How do they react to you when they see you? Is it, hey, how's it going? Or is it, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's you? And they run up and give you a hug. You get to define your ideal client and go crazy with this. For me, it's a woman who is a mom and is got kids that are any age really, but high school and college is where I find I spend most of my time with the family portraits. So moms. So women, my marketing message to on the photography side is to women. Yours is to whatever works for you. For a lot of it, for you know what, for portrait photography, if it wasn't for women, we may be having to do other things. And some of you think you're having to do other things, but that's because your marketing needs improvement. That's not because the market isn't there. It's there. It absolutely is there. This persona, this person that you are defining is going to guide you with your marketing and your service offerings. It isn't effective to attempt to reach a wider audience, cast a wider net. It is not effective. What works is connecting with the right people, those who appreciate the unique value you offer and are willing to invest in your services. Now, we need to understand that ideal client. First, let's discuss who your client is. This is a continuation of the concept of your ideal client profile, but with a deeper focus on how to engage them. We need to understand not just who they are, but also where they are and what drives their decision making. Where do they spend their time in person? Where do they spend their time online? What publications do they read? What social events do they attend? By answering questions like these, you're going to tailor your marketing efforts to be present in the spaces where your ideal client is. You want them to cross paths with you. You're not seeking the seekers, but those who have an interest but just don't know it yet. You're putting yourself in a place where they're going to find you because other photographers aren't there. We're also talking about building relationships with these ideal clients. So you're going to be fostering long term relationships through continued interaction, appreciation, uh, uh, maybe holding events for appreciation, and staying in touch even after the project is finished. And of course, we do need to spend a little bit of time analyzing who our competitors are, not for copying purposes, but who else is serving your ideal client? Once you've defined who your ideal client is, who else is serving those guys? What are those photographers offering to the ideal client you're looking for? And how are they positioning themselves? It's not just about who they are, it's about what they do and how they do it. What are their strengths? Where do they lack? We'll use this information to help you differentiate who you are to your ideal client. It's about finding your unique space in the market, offering something that others don't. So let me give you a couple of action steps for this section, the second section of understanding the market. Number one, develop your client persona. Create a detailed client persona representing your ideal client. Include as many details as you can, including age, income level, lifestyle, hobbies, their challenges, their values. This persona will help you in tailoring your marketing and service offerings. And the second thing is competitive analysis. I want you to identify three competitors who are doing something similar to you. Now, for my students, I actually have them define three in the local market and three who are really not competitors, but if they were in the local market, they would be. So something that is somewhere else. And so, yeah, it's a total of five or six, seven, that range of people who are doing photographers who are doing something similar and targeting similar market to you. Identify these competitors and analyze what it is they're offering, their strengths, their weaknesses, and their market positioning. Use this analysis to find gaps in the market that you can fill with your unique offerings. Now, if you can see how what we've talked about so far could be beneficial, would you hit the like button for me? Can you see how this could be beneficial to you? Hit the like button for me. Or love, if you're really thinking this is sounding good, really good. And then, of course, go over to the comments section and let me know what you're thinking. What's going on in your mind? How's this going to work for you? Have you tried things like this before? Maybe not to the extent, but in that direction. We all have done a little something in that direction. All right, let's talk about building your brand identity. Brand identity is about crafting an identity that does more than just display your skills as a portrait photographer. It's about creating a brand that resonates with your ideal clients and sets you apart in what many consider a saturated market. I don't believe that. And I believe that those that do just need help on their marketing efforts. That's all it is. There is definitely enough out there for everybody, enough business. There is. And the reason, again, is because most photographers are only targeting 1 or 2% of the entire population. Those who raise their hand saying, I'm looking for a photographer. The other 95 plus percent, somehow you're just ignoring. Well, I don't recommend doing that because it works for me really well. Differentiation isn't just about what you do. It's about how you do it differently and better than anyone else in the market. It's what makes your brand the obvious choice for your ideal clients. So let's go beyond, let's talk beyond the photographic style. While your photographic style is absolutely significant, it is. It's not the only element that sets you apart, right? Personality, how you interact with clients. I mean, I've seen some fantastic photographers who were not good with people. I've seen some that were just couldn't communicate at all. They just couldn't talk. I've also seen those who did, and everything that came out of their mouth was going to make you upset. There was a photographer years ago who their business they retired before I even started, but I remember them. And this particular photographer would make their clients cry, yet people still came to visit. What's up with that? Hmm, there's got to be something that draws them in. To my knowledge, there's no photographers out there right now that are making people cry. That's an extreme example. But as we discussed in a previous section, the type of person you want to work with is important. Your client avatar, your client persona, and this goes deeper than demographics. Understanding it goes into understanding their values, their preferences, the challenges they're experiencing, and what they seek in a photography experience. Now that part's up to you because when you're targeting those who aren't looking for a photographer right now, they're not seeking a professional photographer experience at all. You are just showing up in their path. Therefore, we have to define what it is that we do so that we look attractive to them once they cross paths with us. So it's about connecting with this ideal client and creating a magnetic pull towards what you do. Your personal story and how it influences your business, your journey, your vision, your values, and creating uh, well, these values are powerful tools in differentiating you and your brand. Infusing your personal touch in every aspect of your business is part of the deal. It's essential. So let's talk about some key differentiators for building your brand, your unique brand identity. I'm not saying that you've got to have all of these that I'm about to list. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just pointing out some that would be valuable things to consider. And I have 10 of these. The first is Exceptional client experience. I mean, you guys say that that's what you want, but have you defined what it means? Personalize your service to make your ideal clients feel special, feel valued, maintain professionalism and responsiveness in all the interactions, and create whatever type of experience that you want to have, whatever that means to you. For me, it may be a luxury experience, but that's not what everyone is after. And so I want you to create the experience that you have defined as ideal. Number two of 10, exclusive or unique offerings. Provide unique session types, exclusive locations, maybe themes, props. Specialize in a niche area of portrait photography to attract specific clients. Number three, premium quality products. Again, these are variables to consider. Not everybody needs a premium quality product. That's what I want to give to my clients, though. Deliver quality products using the best technology, the best materials for prints and presentations. And of course, just go to digitalprolab.com, make your order, and you're going to get the best quality products when it comes to your prints, traditional prints, canvas prints. Yeah, digitalprolab.com. Some of you guys want to do this on your own. I get it. You say, I want to touch every process. I want to be part of every process. And so you're buying your own printers. I see the value of that because I started doing it that way years ago. So I printed myself in a darkroom in the beginning. I realized how time consuming that was and not a valuable use of my time at all. So I stopped and I started working with local labs. And then when digital printers were good enough, I started doing that, thinking, well, this is going to save me some money on that lab bill because woo, that was a big lab bill. And then I realized I was spending my time doing things that weren't helping. And I tell my clients that I'm giving them the best. Well, I'm not the best printer. I can't be. It's not what I spend all my time doing. But the folks over at Digital Pro Lab, they are spending 100% of their time. If you think that you're better than they are, you just don't have an understanding of how prints work. That's just how it is. You have a limited knowledge. Now, you don't think you do because you don't know what you don't know. I get it. The folks at Digital Pro Lab know what they're doing. There is not even the slightest chance that they're not as good as you. They are way better. But if you don't know what you don't know, then you're going to try to take that on. And you think this is a good thing. And I hear you because I've done it myself. But working with the lab is the way to go. They know what they do. They do this day in, day out. They know what quality means. They know how things are going to last well into the future, way beyond what you could possibly know because they've seen it. They've been doing it for years. They can compare and contrast. They can bring someone can have they've seen photographs that they printed 20 years ago. You haven't. You can't. That was number three, using premium quality products. Again, something to consider. Not necessarily something that you must do. None of these are. I want you to consider these though. Number four, a bespoke and artistic style. Develop a distinguishable signature style. Something to consider. It's not right for every single photographer, though. Incorporating artistic elements that elevate your work to fine art. Again, something to consider. But no matter what, a distinguished style, something that is you. Number five, strong branding and marketing. We've touched on this already. But craft a brand image that makes whatever it is that you want to convey to your ideal target market happen. So maybe it's a luxury experience. So something that exudes luxury, quality, and exclusivity, one that not everybody has access to. Utilize marketing channels to reach the high end market effectively if that is your goal. But it isn't the goal for everyone. So Put in what you feel is ideal, but you have to define it. Number six, limited availability or exclusivity. And now, we touched on that just a moment ago. Offering limited sessions to create exclusivity and to create demand. Position yourself as a selective photographer who's working with specific types of clients or specific types of work. Number seven, extended services. That may be, let's say, for a boudoir photographer, providing styling, makeup, wardrobe, maybe even consultations for each of these, and comprehensive packages that cover all the aspects of the photography experience. By the way, in past Portrait Profit shows, if you've been watching all of them, then you remember one where we talked about the client experience, the entire thing. We're writing down first what it is that we do throughout our entire experience, our entire product, from the moment that someone hears about us and reaches out to us to having some type of interaction. It could be an email, a phone call, and then having a planning session, and then the session itself, and then your post production process, and then showing your images. However, you do that, everybody does it differently. And for me, I'm full service. And so what I do is I don't have my clients do any work at all that they don't have to do. Now, they have to choose their own clothing, they have to get their family together. Again, family portraits is what I do. So they have to get their family together and show up. I can't do that part of the work for them. But any part of the work that I can do, I do. And that takes them all the way to printing, framing, and installation. It's part of the price, it's part of the deal. Why would I do all that stuff? People know how to hang a photograph on the wall. Yeah, they do. But it's part of the scope of a photographer. So I include it because I know they're going to have to do it. And I do not want to give them more work. This is a service business. And in a service business, part of the job, part of the goal is not to give your clients more work. I mean, a if you're hiring a roofer, and you've heard me get, if you've watched the show any for any period of time, you know what I'm going to say here. If you're hiring a roofer, do you expect to do any of the work? It's a service business. Of course not. You know how to use a hammer, though. So why don't they? Yeah, they don't, because they care about you and they care about their client. So why do we photographers cut corners sometimes? It's up to you. And in some types of photography, it's the right thing to do. If you're doing headshots, then a digital file is oftentimes the end result. So hey, perfect. But a family portrait, what I do, the end result is a photograph on the wall for them to enjoy all the time, not one on a hard drive when they happen to cross paths with it. Nope, I want them to enjoy this all the time. So, extended services. Number eight of 10, building an elite network. Network with high end service providers and collaborate with luxury brands or artists for exposure. Now, again, that's if you're in the luxury side of things. If you're not, well, then you're putting something else in that space. But you're building your network. Number nine, a strong online presence and things that convey who you are and what you do. So you're maintaining a professional website, professional social media, and you're active on social media platforms. You're responding to emails, you're responding to web forms. You're not letting anything fall through the cracks, which may mean you have to have a system in place to make that happen, because things falling through the cracks is a really easy thing to happen. And number 10, testimonials. Collect them, encourage them. You need them. Leverage those testimonials and referrals from your thrilled clients, because that is part of building a reputation in the circles you want to be known in. Now, let's talk about building your brand's identity. We start by exploring the story behind your brand. What inspired you to pick up the camera? What was it? What drives your passion for photography? Anything that is in that direction of who you are is part of building your brand's narrative. These elements form the backbone of your brand's narrative. So your narrative isn't just your history, it's your history, but it's not just your history. It's the story you want to convey to your ideal client. It's about the emotions, experiences, and the memories that you create. This narrative connects you with your clients on a deeper level, making your brand memorable, making your brand distinctive. Couple of steps that I want you to take. I want you to create a brand narrative, writing down the story of your brand. I want you to develop your visual identity. This is creating or refining your visual identity, the elements. I want you to ensure that you are aligning your brand narrative or aligning with your brand narrative, and you're consistently applying this across all of your channels so that you have a consistent message, a consistent brand, logo, a message, whatever it is that is consistent throughout everything that you do. And then how you're communicating that brand too. Plan how you're going to communicate your brand identity through your website, through your social media, your client interactions, your marketing materials, and audit what you do. Go through and look through everything. Does this message, is it consistent, and does it convey what I need for it to convey? Audit your brand experience and innovate in service delivery. Consider novel processes, session themes, memorable product packaging that's going to differentiate you from others. There's a lot of things that you can do. For instance, I sign all of my prints and I sign it in gold. I've got gold leaf and a heated gold point pen, ballpoint pen. It's it's a pin connected to the wall. So it's hot. I put the gold down, the gold foil down on my print, and I sign it. It embeds the gold into the print. It makes it where I can say, when Dad says, "Oh my gosh, that's expensive. What's it lined in gold?" I can say, "Actually, yes, I sign all of my works in gold." Dads usually are silenced by that, and Mom kind of giggles because she's not used to him being silenced like that. It works. Innovate in your services. I hope you're feeling energized. I hope you're feeling empowered. I'd love to see you express your excitement in the comments. What kind of things are you doing that is causing you to stand out? Is there some unique packaging that you do? Do you put it in a box with a bow? What are you doing? What are you doing to stand out? All right. In the full length version of this presentation, I go into several other things like mastering targeting marketing, or mastering your targeted marketing, and things like creating an intriguing offer and long-term vision sustainability. And if you want those extra things, well, then reach out to me because, well, that's what I do. But I'm going to go over one more thing because this is the most important thing, I believe, in Don't Seeking the Seekers. Well, and I'm going to put that up, and I'm going to skip those other things and move straight to alliance marketing. Now, with alliance marketing, while everything that we've addressed up to this point is important, it's laying the foundation for what I'm sharing with you now. And if you've watched this show many times before, you may have come across me say some of these things before, or this may be totally new to you. But what I'm sharing with you right now is by far the most important and fantastic tool to turn your efforts, period, into amazing results. Once I implemented this tool, I no longer felt that the market was saturated. I no longer felt like I was even competing. And if you are paying attention and you implement what I'm sharing with you today, then you too will feel this magical change. Alliance marketing. It's a strategic collaboration. Give me a second. strategic collaboration between businesses for mutual growth and benefit. This could be businesses that are quite similar to yours. It could be businesses that are quite different. But the bottom line is that these two, your business and another, or an individual, it could be an individual as well, are aligned with you in targeting the same market that you're targeting, but they're not competitors. So, not direct competitors. They could be doing something similar. They could be doing something so totally different, but they are not competitors to you. So this could mean partnering with local businesses, luxury brands, event planners, cross promotional activities with influencers, and other entities that complement and enhance your brand's value proposition, combining strengths to create an offering that is more compelling than what you could do just by yourself. These could be one time collaborations, but I'm leaning more towards the long term activities that you could do for with an alliance. Let's identify, or how to identify and evaluate potential partners for your alliance. We start by identifying the right partners. Now, how do you do that? I mean, that sounds, of course, but yeah, how do you do that? Look for businesses or individuals that share your target audience but aren't direct competitors. For a high end portrait photographer, potential partners might include boutique fashion stores, locally owned restaurants, car dealerships, real estate agents, neighborhood magazines. Evaluate these potential partnerships based on brand synergy, audience overlap, and potential for mutual growth. It's got to be a win win. Actually, it's a three-way win because the clients win too. Now, once you've made this list of a handful, and I want you to list 12 businesses that target your same market, I want you to craft a partnership proposal. Now, I'm surface leveling this because this show is only an hour long. This goes into a lot of detail. And if you're working with me, you get that detail as part of the deal. And I even help you with it. But in this show, I've got to give you just the surface level. You're Once your potential allies are identified, the next step, of course, is building that relationship, reaching out to them, actually creating something that has some potential. So this goes beyond sending a proposal. It's about cultivating a connection, sharing your vision, and developing a mutually beneficial strategy. So you're going to do things like an introduction to your brand and its values, a clear plan of the proposed collaboration that you're going to be doing, an explanation of how this partnership benefits you both, examples of potential joint initiatives or campaigns. If you've done this before, you share other successes that you have, but you have to get one before you can do that. And then your contact information and an invitation for follow up discussion where you jointly plan for whatever you're trying to do and getting a maximum amount of impact. Now, briefly, I'm going to give you one example, a case study, something I've done of a successful partnership agreement, an alliance. I call them alliances. So, and you can do this with whatever fits with what you're doing. This could be a neighborhood magazine, a realtor, a family restaurant. I'm going to give you, and I can give you a bunch of examples. So I'm just going to identify a neighborhood magazine, but it could be a car dealership. It could have been a family restaurant. But I'm going to identify or share with you one of the alliances that I've had over the years, and how this positively impacted what I do. So I worked with a neighborhood magazine, and this neighborhood magazine every single month would spot. Um, uh, uh, Highlight a one family from that neighborhood. And so what I offered to do was photograph that family every single month. So how much marketing effort do I have to do now to get that one family every month? None. They send that information to me. I put them on my calendar and we photograph them. So I am not charging anything for the session fee. That's the exchange that I'm making with them because I don't want them to have to pay anything for it. The client or the partnership agreement. Let's sneeze. Excuse me. All right. So what I did every single month, they were sending me a new client, and I actually worked with more than one neighborhood magazine, and so each month they were sending me business, and I worked with other types: car dealership, restaurant, a realtor, a couple of realtors, and so they were sending me business every single month. I didn't have to do any other marketing because they were sending me business consistently every single month. Now, not all of them are quite as consistent as a neighborhood magazine sending you one every single month. A realtor may have one or two now, and they go a couple of months before they're sending you the next one. Car dealerships might be more often. Everyone's a little bit different, but the goal is to have enough of these alliances where your advertising and marketing is a thing of the past and you have no competitors. They're not calling other photographers. They're working with you or they're not working with you because someone sent them to you. Are you guys seeing the value of this? Is this making sense? Because it sure made a big difference to me and my business. They are sending me business because it's beneficial to those partners, those alliances. It's beneficial to them to send me business. They're not doing it to be nice. They're not doing it as a favor to me. They don't think he's a nice guy. Well, they may think that, but they're not doing it for that reason. Even if it was that reason, they're not going to be doing it for very long because they've got a whole lot of other things going on. But if it's beneficial, if it's a win win for their client to send them to me, then it lasts for an entire career where you're not going to have to do any seeking of the seekers on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever. You don't have to do it anymore. And when you do that, other photographers don't hear about you because you're not actively promoting your business any longer, not in those forums. So, therefore, photographers who are the most successful, a lot of times you've never heard of them because they're using different types of marketing. This is one of them. And yes, I help photographers set this up to be successful. I find it exciting to do this, but if this is the first time you've done it, it's probably very intimidating. It was for me anyway. It isn't anymore. I get excited by it. Sometimes I kind of even want to go out and do this for other photographers where I'm talking to their potential alliances. But no matter what, it works really well. By the way, the magic number is 12. If you get 12 alliances, and I say that because that's a generalization, your specific type of thing that you're doing, I may give you a totally different number, but as a generalization, if you have 12 alliances, you are never going to have to do any marketing or advertising again. Period. You just won't because you have consistent business keeping on coming in always. That doesn't mean there aren't going to be challenges because there are. Once you have that many in place, you're going to keep on getting business and you're not going to have to do any of the things that you used to have to do. How does that sound, guys? Do you see what I'm talking about? Does this make sense? Hit that like button, hit that love button. Give me a comment saying, I get this, I can do this, or that sounds good, but I think I'm going to need your help. Yep, that's what I do, guys. I help photographers make an incredible income doing what they love. That's what I do. And if you're not using the services of someone who helps you do that, and you've been struggling for months or years, guys, why are you struggling when you have the tool to not have to struggle? It'd be like choosing to use a flathead screwdriver when you could just buy a chisel to be able to do some woodworking. Yes, the screwdriver will carve wood, but not very well. The chisel's made for the job. Get the chisel. I hope that's resonating well with you guys. Using the right tool makes a big difference. Now, a couple of closing thoughts as we finish up today. And by the way, I'm going to be telling you what there's only 3 more episodes of the Portrait Profit Show in 2023. Uh, the last one, the last Monday, it falls on Christmas Day, and we're not going to do a show that day. So we have 3 more. That's it. 2 more like this. One is a panel, but I'm going to get to that here in just a moment. As we finish up today, let's quickly go over what we've talked about really quickly. We've looked at everything from defining who you are and who you want to work with to collaborative marketing efforts. Is that a summary of what we did in as few words as possible? Yeah. Each part is important for making your photography business really stand out. Remember, being great at the business side of photography isn't just about making good pictures. It's also about building a small or a smart business that shows off or conveys your unique style. It's about knowing your market really well. It's about being different in every beneficial way that you can think of to your ideal client because you've defined who they are. It's about connecting with the right people, the ideal client, and working with others who can help lift your brand up while at the same time lifting up theirs. Now it's up to you. So put all this into action because if you do, you are going to make the biggest difference in your world that you've ever seen. Every big achievement starts with deciding to give it a shot. Give it a shot. And if you're needing some help, and who doesn't, reach out to me. Jim at landersphotoschool.com. Reach out to me. Call me. Text me. 210-663-0558. Are you ready to write that down? I'll say it one more time. 210-663-0558. And because this is recorded, you can just go back and listen to it again. But I'll say it one more time. 210-663-0558. And I prefer a text. But if you need to call me. By the way, when you do send text, send me your name also. That way I know who it's coming from. Sometimes I get spam or miscellaneous texts. I don't know where they came from and are clearly not for me. If I don't know who it is and there's not enough information in the text, I'm going to think it's junk. So yeah, just send me your name with your message. By the way, anytime you text, the first time you text someone, especially, include your name. Include your name. All right. I mentioned earlier that I was going to announce something that Digital Pro Lab is doing, and they are doing something here on Thursday this week. Ignore that part that's right there that it says Wednesday, November 22nd. I just realized they changed the date on this, and I didn't grab the new date. And the only thing that's different is the date. But it's this coming Thursday, November 30th. It's Dirty 30. It's Digital Pro Lab is turning 30 years old and they're having a little party and they're inviting you to come over to the lab to have some fun. And so between 10 and 4, just at some point during your day, stop by. There's going to be a pastry bar, champagne fountain. There's going to be prizes. And if you order something that day, doesn't matter what you order, if you order anything that day, whether you're doing it there at the lab or you order it online, you are going to be entered into a drawing for $100 lab credit, and they're giving away 5 of those. So maybe I'll see you guys on Thursday, the 30th at Digital Pro Lab. And let's talk about the upcoming classes, or the upcoming shows, because there's only three that are left. 1 week from today, we're going to be talking about what to do before the end of the year. There's some things that I want you to put in place to close out this year so that you're prepared. You've got a clean slate for 2024. By the way, on the 18th, that's what we're going to be doing. But we're going to be talking about preparing for 2024. But for right now, this is coming up this coming week, and it's what to do, the steps you need to take in order to have a clean slate and prepare so that you are prepared to be able to implement 2024. What to do before the end of the year. That's at noon. And I usually put that up on the screen. There we go. That's December 4th at noon. What to do before the end of the year. And then in a week after that, so 2 weeks from today, is our panel. And we do a discussion panel on the second Monday of every single month. And that is at 6:30 in the evening. We move it from noon. It's the only one that we don't do at noon. We move it to 6:30 in the evening. And that's just because we have three panelists. And it's difficult to get three people together during the day. And so we move it to the evening to make it easier for me. The three that we have, and you see them listed here, Michelle DeLorma, Jennifer Denton, and Allison Lally, are going to be here with me. I'm going to ask them a series of questions about why they choose to sell prints, why it's beneficial to them, why it's beneficial to their clients. You're going to get some insights, some behind the scenes thoughts that you might not have even thought of before, but they're going to be beneficial to you and your target market. So why I sell prints on December 11th at 6:30 in the evening. And then on December 18th, this is the last one for 2023, last minute review of your 2024 plan. Now, earlier in the year, we had a session about creating your 2024 plan. This is the last minute review of that. Now, if you haven't done your 2024 plan yet, there's not much time, and it really should have happened already. But if you haven't done it, then you still need to do it. This is your last minute review of your 2024 plan. Maybe you're starting with this, and that's fine. We're all at different places, and that's fine. But we're going to go over the important things that you need for you to consider in 2024. That's December 18th at noon. We put these things on your calendar so you know when they're coming, and you'll make sure that you're here for it, because every one of these is going to benefit you in the short term and in the long term and your clients. All right. So that is the last three for 2023 on the Portrait Profit Show. So today we did episode number 145, Don't Seek the Seekers. I appreciate you guys being here with me. I hope you feel like you've gotten something out of this message today. If you have, hit that like button, hit that love button. Give me a comment. Tell me something along the lines of, this was good. I appreciate that. I can see how that would work. Thanks, Jim. Whatever you want. Give me a comment. Let me know in the comments real quick your thoughts on this show today and how you may be able to implement it. Let me know what you're thinking, because some of these I'm going to share at the end of the show once I close this out. When you've just got the music playing, I'm going to have some words going across. if you give me a thank you or something along those lines, or a comment about the what you've learned today or how you're going to implement it, I'm going to show those here at the end. But for Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I bring you the weekly Portrait Profit Show, helping you excel in your portrait photography business through valuable tips, insights, and helping you stay on track towards the success I feel you deserve. And I think you feel you deserve too. I want you to join me every single Monday for evolving content as we unravel the mysteries of the business side of photography. I want to thank you for tuning in today, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Portrait Profit Show. I look forward to watching you guys grow. Thank you, guys. Bye.